So welcome again. This is Kirsten, and I'm very excited that each of you are here for week 2 of the meditation for beginners. So if you are new to meditation, it is perfect. There's no experience that you need, but just an open mind. And just see what the teachings, the principles, some of the psychology, and the spiritual concepts, just open your mind to them in your heart and discern the information if it really resonates with you, wonderful. And if not, just, put it to the side and keep an open mind. Also, this is by no means a replacement. Meditation is not a replacement for medical or for therapy that's needed, but it is a beautiful complementary tool that does, in fact, there is scientific evidence that the being mindful, being in the present moment, and really practicing that ability to move into the parasympathetic system is healing. Not just healing physically of illnesses, but also for mental anguish, despair, stress, things that were overwhelmed, and especially the fear spectrum. So I have used it, and in week 1, I gave a brief intro in terms of my journey, who am I, and how I got onto meditation. Meditation has become key to my spiritual business and key to being able to, it's a tool to master my life with. And the reason why I say that is because without being able to learn how to be in the present moment, then I'm going to be in fear of uncertainty for the future, or I'm going to be hanging on to some perceived past experiences that I may, on a subconscious level, believe that's who I am. I'll label myself, I will limit myself, and I will also perceive that into the future projection. So we're far more greater than that. Being in the present moment, we begin to get those broader perspectives of self, and that's where our mind can become balanced. And last week we talked about having the left and right brain polarities begin to basically fire all pistons and align so that they can begin to communicate with each other. And our right brain is, there's a list of attributes and reasons and benefits why being open to your right brain is actually, in effect, that creative side. It's that resolution-oriented side. It's where that still, soft voice that we can hear from our gut instinct. It's that all-knowing. It's a more of a broader
you're
perspective.
fading in and out. Sorry, Kristen, you're fading in and out.
Oh, how am I fading in and out for anyone else?
Yeah,
Okay.
and no, your voice.
I'm going to move this right in front of me. How does this sound, Nina? Am I sounding as if I am coherent and the sound is in good flow?
It's funny because it's slow-mo. It goes in slow-mo, like you're saying a word and then all of a sudden it'll freeze and go into slow mode.
Is anyone else having that issue?
No.
Okay, so Nina, let's
it's
just
me then.
let's just
Did I turn off my
Yeah, so if anyone is having, thank you so much, Nina. If Nina, you are experiencing that, try going to a different, if you are on a device, try going to a different area in your home. That would probably work for you, because I really want you to be able to hear my voice and go into the meditation and not have some crazy sci-fi sound happening on your end. So thank you for bringing that up. So may as well go right into the slides. And so who am I?
Okay, I need to troubleshoot.
Okay, I'm going to have to mute Nina. If there's any issues, could you go in the chat so that we can get on with the content for this very short 45-minute segment? And if you are still continue to experience technical issues, don't worry. There's going to be a recording of this available for you after. Okay? All the best. Thank you.
In the meantime, she might try leaving and rejoining.
Great suggestion, Tom. Nina, if you completely exit and then maybe change the area of the room. And good luck to you.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Okay. So now we are going to go into the slides, and before doing so, I just wanted to have all of us just, here we are. So as you can see, I've created, again, a presentation, and I won't be, for the purpose of this evening, I just wanted to sort of like give you a little bit of sample of the platter here, but it will be in a full lesson video available for you afterwards, where you can really absorb the content and then sit with it in a more intellectual and open your heart and mind to it. But for tonight, I'll skim through it, but I will just get your appetite whet. And so who am I? Again, I'm Kirsten Hodgins. This has been an amazing, miraculous experience for me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for learning how to really still that mind. And it's a tool to master my life. And here's the reason why. 2 areas: my spiritual services. If I had not learned how to become aware of my thinking, of my emotions, and how to navigate and to really articulate what I was feeling, I was really opening up to the boundaries in life and relationships, and I was really establishing a higher sense of who I was. And that helped me in my spiritual path because I was opening up to mediumship and being of service for others. So meditation helped me to center myself and to connect with that infinite, which is a spiritual aspect of oneness where I can perceive divine guidance. And the other side of it is to manage with life. It's a life tool. It's to be able to master with the ups and downs, the chaos, the turbulence that life offers us. And the reason why I say that the word offer is because we are here to evolve. We are here to experience the ups and downs, to be able to have those triggers in our life that push our buttons so that we can take a look at what our agenda is. What's our life purpose? What's my personal life purpose? Some people, they feel like there's something missing. Perhaps maybe they have a corporate job that's not fulfilling, or they've reached some goals, but they still feel this yearning for more, but they've struggled so hard to get where they are, and they just can't see. It's like fleeting joy, fleeting peace. So what happens is when we get triggered, most people get complacent in life and they ignore those emotions, and they begin to be disconnected with their inner being because they search for peace and joy in their environment, in the circumstances, in the physical reality. And they close themselves off to those longings in their heart, which is a blueprint from their soul, their bigger life purpose. So in order to get to that full potential of really creating that life and really being a master in our life, is to be able to get still and to begin to listen to that inner voice. So this is a beginner course, but I'm telling you the benefits of really allowing yourself to get into the practice of meditation. Because the principles that I teach and many other mindful teachers, conscious teachers out there, and there's a lot of information. So what I've done, I'm just giving you what my experience is and really borrowing the wisdom from the path that I've been on. And what I've noticed is there's a lot of quotes out there. And a lot of principle saying, just, do gratitude, be mindful, and, journal and do yoga. And there's all sorts of beautiful ways in which we can hear the beautiful advice. But to most people, it's just advice. They have a neurological patterning. So when we read things like this, we end up going, okay, that's nice. I relax. Okay, I'll calm my mind and I'll relax. Or you can see something over here. Be still. The mind is like water. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. Oh yeah, that's nice, good and clear, but how do I become clear, right? So we're going to break it down and we're going to really talk about the beginner basics on how to get clear. And we're going to talk about this in the slides over the next 4 weeks. So I'm super excited. Today, for a time check, because we got off to a late start, I wanted to go over last week's just one thing. It's the mindfulness challenge. And I wanted to ask everyone, was anyone having a struggle? Did anyone find that it was difficult each day to become aware and observe their senses? Week 1 was about self-awareness, about mindfulness. It was about us going through our first meditation to become aware of our surroundings, to be aware of our physical senses, to become aware of our internal experiences that we have, where our mind goes, where our focus goes, and our 5 sensory system. And what I wanted to do is check in, and if anyone, I could hear from 1 or 2 or 3 people if you'd like quickly, if you had attempted, and here's the thing, I don't expect everybody to have gone in every moment of the day, hour to hour, being mindful. It's a new patterning, neurological, it's a habitual thing that we are creating and instilling in our neurological network. And becoming mindful is, we have practice, consistency, persistency, and commitment to it, and that takes time. Scientists have discovered that around 21 days to 76 days, we become etched in a new pattern of habit. So when we just had 7 days of it, and you tried and you failed, when most often, I think the average is 96 or 98% of the population throws the towel in. I can't do it, forget it. But we know here, we're committed to the next 4 weeks to just practice, because it is a blessing. It's going to unveil where our limitations are. If you found that you had the internal dialogue, oh, I couldn't do mindfulness this week because I was too busy, or I didn't have the time, or I had too much to do, then that, my friends, is your limited belief. So whatever was your struggle is your curriculum. It's what you came here as your life purpose, what's going on for you in the current situation, and it's a fear-based belief. So Agenda 2 is the Mindfulness Challenge Review, which we've done. And this week we're going to clear fear. We're going to begin to have those discussions around clearing fear and living with peace, ease, and joy. And the reason why this is such a dear topic for me is because for years I spent anxiety, depression, and it's a spiritual, we're going to get into this, it's a spiritual disconnect, it's a spiritual crisis of being in alignment with what I really came here to do, and being felt like perceived stuck in a life that I didn't feel like I belonged in, or that wasn't serving my needs. And I was turning to sources outside of me for joy. And we can get into all the ways in which we have patterns coming up. But today I really wanted to get into, first of all, here's a quote: practice, consistency, and adaptability is key to cultivating life mastery skills. So patience says, it's okay if I couldn't find my space, but I attempted. Because the more consistent and persistent and resilient we are with doing a new habit, the more it becomes familiar within us. And the more we become like a muscle, we strengthen the mindfulness muscle. And we become to hang out more in the present moment. Because the mindfulness challenge was about practice being present, guys. Practice being porous to life. Practice opening your heart to life in the moment. And that was our challenge this week. So I wanted to open up. So how did we do? Did anyone want to share? Linda Abbott or anyone have any opportunity this week to give that a try? If not, it's okay, because then we want to talk about what those triggers were. Sure, Linda Dartman, yeah.
The school I work at, we opened the school up for teachers who left something behind, etc. So I was going in to do something, and I thought, oh, it's a 20-minute drive, and I enjoyed every second of it. My windows were open. I saw the heron go over, and because we've not been at school, so I've missed my heron that flies over, and the red-winged blackbirds are out, and oh, so good.
Oh, Linda, that's just a beautiful description and demonstration of how you could be mindful. Thank you. And how did you feel after? Because it sounded like you did not miss a beat, did you?
I always
Yeah.
feel light, and I always feel goosebumpy and lovely, and just to say hi to people, to the
Yeah.
nature
It
is
really is an
so important.
up-leveling shift.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing an up-leveling shift. And also, Linda, she had so much detail that she could recall.
Oh.
Have you ever gone somewhere and forgot every detail? Like I have, in the past, when I was in fear and anxiety, not in peace and ease, and in the present moment, there have been times that I couldn't even recall going to Tim Hortons and getting a coffee, and then going grocery shopping and buying another one at the Starbucks in the Longos. So we all could become our mind has left us. We've lost our mind. So week 1 was all about you lose your mind, then go to your senses. Right? So that's a really good way to look at it. So does anyone
I have this little friend here. I have this little friend here who keeps me company.
Oh, as well as pets. Pets remind us to be tranquil and at one. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Linda. Does anyone else have an experience of attempting their mindfulness each day that they would like to share? Tom, welcome.
Thanks. I wasn't here last week, but when I said I was brand new to this, I didn't mean brand new to meditation in general, although I'm still pretty green. However, I do occasionally find that when I try to do it, I can tell probably within 5 minutes that it's just not going to happen at that instance for whatever reason. I trouble just doing the quieting down part sometimes.
So Tom, could you repeat that? You determine how, what the experience will be like before you meditate? Is that what you've just said? I wanted to be clear.
Well, I did that once, like as in went into it with an intention of a specific thing that I wanted to have happen, and it actually did work. But my point is that there are times when you, just to express to everybody, you do go to meditate or to try and center yourself and it won't work for whatever reason there. And so I'm looking to pick up whatever tools.
Wonderful. I really appreciate you bringing this up because there's really nothing to work. In fact, what's the main block of us being present? It's our mind. It's
exactly. Yeah.
So thank you for bringing that up. So thank you. I'm glad that you had some experience because then you could really understand the things that we're talking about today. So thank you so much, Tom. Thank you for sharing that.
My pleasure.
So to continue this, we have slides that are going to go into the detail that Tom brought up. So I'm not going to repeat it twice when the slides come up. So thank you. You are right in alignment with the content, Tom. So thank you for sharing. So we want to get into the repeat of last week, which we're going to incorporate again. This is a reminder. So remember, where focus goes, where energy flows is one of the things that we did was we had our hands that we placed them on our heart to observe the sensations when we were really in an emotional charge. So if you're really challenged and you need a moment during your day when you just had, when you're at your work or things come up and you immediately notice the contrast in your body, because we know what thoughts and emotions can do in our physical. We know with that test that we did with the lemon. And if you were here last week, we experienced just using our imagination how our body does not know the difference between past, present, or future. It felt with the thought and the imagery that we were already in, the lemon was with us. So we know that just a thought can trigger the chemicals and all sorts of things that may not be wanted. So if you're in fear, that is what's happening, and especially if it's repeating. So last week we went through the mindfulness techniques, which brought us to the physical, which is the first level of awareness. It's to notice the breath, to bring awareness to your physical body through touch, through sensations. We rotated through the external sensations, such as the feel of our clothes, the feel of our weight in the chair. And just do this as you become more consciously. Mindfulness, these are the techniques to use, like really pay attention to the temperature, what you hear, what you see with your eyes closed as well. That's the internal, and what you feel. So those are all beautiful, ancient tools that are so common, they're not common. People think that there's something that they need to do, or there's some form of method or it isn't. It's basically just coming to your senses and becoming aware. To awareness and consciousness is an expanded state of awareness. You're expanding your state and you're heightening your senses. Because when you are not having a heightened sense is when you are in a busy fear. You can't feel because you're so in tuned with the palpable sensation of an emotion or an overwhelming sensation. So that is why you want to notice the breath first, to bring yourself into a more incremental feeling space to go into the meditation. But I'm not talking about dealing with a trauma that comes up in your life in this. I'm talking about just day-to-day routine, nothing out of the norm, sitting and meditating. But this also is so profound when crisis hits the fan, uncertainty and fear hit the fan, same tools, same beautiful results. So when we compartmentalize your peace and joy, it's basically my message is to try using mindfulness as a way to discontinue your compartmentalizing your peace and joy. Some people say, when I go to yoga, I'll release. When I go to meditation on Sunday night or whatever other thing that brings you peace, like a vacation coming up later in the summer, we want to be able to live. We were meant to live with the full richness of life. I don't believe the universe, that God, that oneness, wanted us to live with fear, anxiety, and illnesses to the degree that we are. And I really feel like it's our role to begin to become conscious so that we can influence others, because the more that we become conscious, we can really influence and up level and trigger it in others. So that's what I stand for, and I hope that I am shedding that light or reminding what's within you so that you could do so. So the next slide, life mastery, simple tools used daily. My friend and mentor, Mark Cummings, who's an expert who I actually went through and got a lot of the information, wiggle toes, rubbing finger techniques, that works with a lot of the people he works with, and I can't stop using it. It's amazing. Much like if those who have done emotional freedom technique, where you tap and you cleanse and clear, that's another beautiful technique. There's millions, well, there's probably thousands of them. So here we go. I don't want to go into too much because I want to leave a good 20 minutes, 4-hour meditation to really bring you through the cycles. But today, wanted to just go over just fight, flight, and freeze. When we are in fear, these three things are triggered. We go into a fight mode, defensiveness, almost like a blame, fight. Flight, I should say flight is first. So we want to run away. We don't want to deal with it. We bury our heads in the sand. We just deflect. We ignore, and we just want to get away from it. And then, or we freeze, we paralyze. We go on the couch. We just numb ourselves with for me, I love chocolate, popcorn, and Netflix. I do a binge of Netflix when I want to put my emotions on the shelf and I don't want to deal with them sometimes. So there's all sorts of ways that limitations of fear can create. But really, what we're learning to do is not to be afraid of emotions, not to be afraid of fear itself, but to manage with fear. So watch week 2 video, because I'm going to go into detail to provide you with some really fundamental truths, spiritual consciousness, to help you to put a seed of thought in your mind, in your heart, to open up to how fear has a hold over you. So here are some hidden fear scenarios. I highlighted the most common, and I wanted you just to take a look. We lack a sense of humor. I don't feel very funny, and the joke goes over my head because I'm in left brain thinking. I'm very narrow focused, and I often don't have that broader sense that the right brain brings me. And I don't have time to laugh. I don't have time for that joke. I got things to do, things to worry about. So there's all sorts of things. But number one in my list with fear scenarios is people don't realize that and if you've heard the expression dark night of the soul, and I'll go into detail more in the week 2 video, it's where anxiety, depression, and it's a spiritual crisis where you just feel so out of alignment with what's going on in the world and with life. And it becomes depression and uncertainty and all those energies that you can't seem to get a handle, to regulate, and to manage. And we could last there for a day, a week, a month, a year, our lifetime. Like it's really a place that it's a fear-based scenario. The other is, and I can talk about ways to get out, is many ways, but meditation, if it's available to you. I also don't rule out therapists and counselors and psychotherapists, all these beautiful complementary tools that could support you in that. But it is a spiritual crisis, and whatever method works for you. But I know that managing in it, meditation is your guide. Meditation is our go-to. So fear of a future, of course, it's like praying in reverse. It's like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen, yada, yada, yada. And we are basically focusing on the unwanted. I'm not going to go through this list, but as you can see, guys, we have victim mentality, lack of adaptability. You're going to be in control and fear instead of, okay, what do I got to do? How am I going to dig my heels in, pivot, take a look at what the broader perspective? Okay, now I see how I need to make some changes. Now I got it. Now I'm empowered. That's what we're going to do by week 4. So basically there is I wanted to put them here because if any of these speak to you, then it's a good thing, because then you're going to be able to start to look at this and say, wow, these are the blocks, but why I'm feeling I'm not in empowerment, I'm not self-managing and self-regulating, and wow, it's good to see this common list, because trust me, you're not alone and there is a way out. How fear manifests. So quickly, we know comes from our thoughts, because we did that last week. And we also want to go through the illusions. This is a beautiful week 2 lesson video that you don't want to miss. We're going to talk about the illusions of fear and how they show up. And we're going to go right into this one, the 4 steps of releasing fear's hold. So we've got week 1 review, which is self-aware. This week is self-regulation. So we're going to return to the tools, and I'll show you how we're going to do that. As you can see, breathing, acknowledging, asking, and surrendering. And we're going to walk through those aspects of week of regulating, self-regulating, because it's all about the emotions, really being aware of the fear energy on a physical and then on an emotional, and then really being one with it so we can observe the sensations, because when you give it attention, it begins to soften. And then the thoughts and the broader perspectives, and then eventually the truth and the empowerment, and you can see all perspectives comes through. And then the truth is that you're able to see the grand overall plan, which is an acronym I've borrowed from one of my mentors, who said to me, you know, the acronym of God is grand overall plan, to put your faith in a higher power that's at play beyond what we could see with our physical eyes. And to surrender our fear into knowing that is huge. And I know that there's so much information to share, but in week 3, we're going to be going into self-management. And then the 4th week, it's self-empowerment. So I'm really giving you lots of information in these videos. So this week, guys, in addition to continuing to practicing your mindfulness challenge, I wanted you to add each morning when you wake up, add 3 things you're grateful for. It's the same frequency of abundance. When we say, oh, I'm just so grateful for the shelter or the comfort of my bed, or the pets that I have that are my companionship, you up level your state of how you feel. You begin to vibrate in a same frequency as the law of abundance, the law of attraction. And when we begin to open ourselves up to see that there's already blessings in our life, more flows. It is not a woo-woo thing. It is a scientifically proven. Watch the video and I will go into greater detail. But the challenge is, it is amazing at up-leveling your states. It is amazing at reminding you what you're already abundant for. And you will begin to see a broader and broader perspective on what is happening for your good and what support you do have and what opportunities are there already. So this is basically just what we've gone through, and we're going to talk about, this was week 1, and we're going to incorporate week 1 into week 2. And here's week 2, and I'll leave that open. because it really is shifting into our inner being and allowing ourselves to acknowledge how we feel today, acknowledging ourselves to observe the sensations. There's nothing more that we need to do, but self-aware, notice how you feel, notice what you feel inside and the noise in the room and the smell or whatever that might be. And the second job today, it's easy, guys. It's just allowing yourself to surrender just to this moment. And remember, we will begin to use our mind as a vehicle into the conscious presence by when a thought keeps coming up or we keep thinking, instead of getting carried down the proverbial rabbit hole, just label it as, oh, a thought, and bring yourself to breath. That's your job. Your job is to bring yourself to breath. What if you have an emotion that, or a memory of the day, or or called your to-do list, something just came into your ego, into your awareness. Beautiful. We bless it. We just call it, we label it thought, memory. If it's an emotion, emotion. But each time you're labeling, you return to breath and you observe the sensation of that. You observe it. You just allow it to give it, acknowledge it. Because it has been swept and suppressed and ignored. It was on the back burner. And now all of a sudden you're quiet. Your ego's like, I've been trying to tell you, right? So your to-do list, and you're like, no, I can discern now. That's okay, ego. And you begin to self-regulate. You begin to notice where you're hanging out. You begin to notice the repetitive thoughts that you have. And that's where we're going to begin to do even more work next week on self-managing with those thoughts and those emotions. But today, your job, guys, is to just be aware of what you're experiencing and to just notice what you're noticing and return to breath, and I will guide you. Okay? And watch week 2 video. It'll have a lot more information. A lot more. So week 3, again, it's on self-management. Releasing more and stressing less. Before I do this meditation, yes, Joe. Yes, absolutely. Is this Tom again?
Yeah. When you talk about all the things that might bring a person to want to be meditating, so all the fears and the feeling out of control and anxieties and all that, you're talking about parasympathetic versus sympathetic nervous systems. And I think it's important to point out that those are both divisions of what's known as an autonomic nervous system,
right.
which is
it's
a division.
Natural state. Yeah.
And so all those things that brought you, when you are feeling something, like you just said about, oh, is that an emotion? Okay, recognize it, let it go, and move on. It's important to, I think, to understand that there should be no guilt in anything at all, that because those things are happening in a part of your nervous system you have no conscious control over.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't feel guilty about those things coming into play.
Wonderful. Thank you for reminding me that. And if you want to know more about that, Dr. Joe Dispenza is speaking to exactly what Tom is talking about. And I absolutely love that. So thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
Exactly. And it's really the non-judgment, the not judging, not attaching, and not resisting. So that's the other way to sum what Tom said as well, because when we do so, we are no longer in that atomic state, that natural parasympathetic. So we want to be able to just be in a place of feeling it out this week, just noticing what comes up. And if what Tom is saying, what I'm saying is you want more clarity on, Joseph Dispenza, Dr. Joseph Dispenza, and also Bruce Lipton are go-tos for more deeper understanding. They're neurological, biological doctors. They have a lot of increased spiritual science to back it up. And so it's wonderful. So thanks again.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Scan. So now I would love to send us into experience this. So I'm going to bring us into this meditation by let's get comfortable, guys. Let's allow our posture to be in a receiving position. And we're just going to sit in this quietness as it is what it is. So even if the stillness includes external noise, or even if the stillness includes thoughts or feelings or sensations, it is exactly what you want. You just want to become aware of all that is in this moment. But let's bring our breath into the intention of being the first level of self-awareness. So just the breath. You may feel bringing your hand or just leaving yourself with an open posture with your hands up on your lap, with your elbows resting on your side comfortably, just nice and loose and relaxed. And now just allow your posture. Maybe you want to just sit, if it's available to you, in a chair and feel your feet on the floor. Just bring your awareness to experience your feet touching the floor, the soles of your feet. Maybe you can begin to experience the physical weight of how you feel in this chair or seat or wherever you're sitting. And just notice how your back is resting in the comfort of a cushion or whatever that might be. Maybe you're beginning to feel the clothes on your skin. Maybe if you can feel your hair touching your neck or your face. Or maybe you're beginning to feel, for women, I often begin to feel if I have tight clothing. And I often in meditation will undo my bra, or I will unzip my zipper if I notice my pants too tight, because it just brings that little ego comfort, and it's like a release, a comfort release. Just allow yourself to just be present with your breath. So just start to come into a physical sensation of noticing how your breath fills up your whole lungs. Maybe it's lifting your chest, or you feel it in your belly. Or you begin to notice your shoulders as you breathe in begins to rise. And as it folds, as it exits, it just sort of lets out on the exhale. And in doing so, let's begin to really draw in this breath with counting to 4. And on the count of 4, pause before you exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause. And exhale when you're ready, a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause, and then inhale for a count of 4. 4, pause, and exhale when you're ready for a count of 6. Do a few on your own, just to really notice that presence. Wonderful. And then all of a sudden, we are now in a place to become aware of the sounds in our environment. We've just heightened our awareness to our physical senses. We can hear the distance. Perhaps there's birds at your window or traffic going by, or you just hear the sound of my voice. Now become aware of what you feel in your environment, what you sense in your environment. Perhaps there's a breeze at your back, or there's maybe some heat or coolness that just washes over us. Whatever that might be. And allow yourself to smell just whatever fragrance or aromas are in the air. Maybe the window's open, or you can smell the earth or the spring or some dinner. Or you just smell some fresh laundry or whatever that is. And allow yourself to just notice your taste as well. You might even just notice the feeling of your mouth, whether it's dry or moist, or you can taste toothpaste, whatever that is. And now allow yourself to become internally present. Bring your attention into your body. And just allow yourself to just do a general scan of your whole entire body at once. And notice where, if there's any tingling, pressure. And as you breathe in and out on the exhale, we just surrender that. So notice where that buzzing is and observe the sensation. And if it's pressure or tension, on the exhale, we release it. We use our mind-body awareness to become aware of where we are in this present moment. And it's perfect if you are having thoughts or thinking or emotions. Just absorb those now, going into a simultaneous awareness of all your senses, including your inner eye, your mind's eye. Perhaps when you close your eyes, you begin to see white light or darkness behind your lids. Or perhaps you're seeing images, light, color, outlines of shapes. It doesn't matter, just it could be blackness. It is perfect the way it is. And as we now simultaneously go through all our senses generally, taking a step back to sense your full body like a scan, scanning down the throat, the heart, the belly, the torso, the root chakra, which is the buttocks, the sacral, your hips and thighs and knees, the shins and calves and ankles and feet. And then you can scan up again, just using your mind to check in with your body and stop wherever you feel a heaviness or a tension or a sensation, and just begin to observe. But you also want to begin to experience that essence of peace that's beginning to wash over and amplify and begin to really become more palpably clear to us. And how to access and to really connect with this is through the breath. Because we know what we focus on, we amplify. It's okay to feel those tensions and thoughts that have manifested into tension, but it is the amplification of the peace and ease that we can connect with through our breath that cleanses it and washes it away. Fill your body on the inhale with this beautiful essence of peace and calm and stillness. It is available at our will. Choose states. Maybe you see yellow as a joyful state. Maybe you just see pure white light just coming, washing like a shower all through you, down into your crown, into your whole head, the back of your throat, connecting with your whole skeletal system and your nervous system down your spine. Opening up to cleanse every single cell of our body where there's memory stored. And notice as you exhale, how you release and clear fear with just such a simple surrender. As you breathe in, you fill yourself up with this essence. Perhaps you're feeling this warmth, like a ball of light, or this cool, clear, tranquil ocean that pours in and around you. Or you just sense this expansion in your body of lightness, peace, and ease. And it begins to expand all through every single pore of your skin, tissue, bone, as you oxygenate and revitalize and reset into peace and ease and joy. And as we hang out here, we take a few breaths and we just keep sending it to areas of our unique mind, body, emotions, and spirit as we experience it. One last scan of our body. Perhaps there's just one last area that's holding on still. Loosen your muscles. Let go of your belly. Let your legs melt into the chair. Just allow your shoulders to drop, your head to just, your chest to just exhale with just such a fold of surrender. Melting into this place of ease and love and peace. And just breathe. Just experience this perfect place of peace and love. And as we finally come into the breath, and we experience again simultaneously our senses. Notice what we were thinking about. Notice where our memories came up. Notice the feeling in our body. Simultaneously, what do we hear and feel on our skin? Take a moment to be porous to life and just surrender and just be in the here and now. Be in this beautiful essence of oneness with you in the physical, in all aspects of your emotional, your mind and body and soul. Just experience this beautiful perfection, wholeness. And bring that right into your heart center. And you may want to put your hands over your heart to really anchor it into your inner being. And just allowing whatever experience you have, just one final sweep of white light, laser beam, sharp cleansing, clearing that washes over us and just penetrates and vibrates with this up state of emotion, feeling more uplifted, more peaceful, more expanded, all you've been all day, and really anchor that in one final time into your heart. And as you do so, breathing in and breathing out with a gratitude in your heart, with thanks to you for showing up and being present, to thank the invisible world, the support and the infinite oneness that is also an aspect of who we are, for supporting us regardless of our awareness, and just give faith and support that it's there. Bring your awareness to your fingers and your toes and begin to really rub your hands as we return. And we're stretching out our body and just bringing this beautiful space and lightness and peace into the rest of our evenings. And with thanks on my heart, thank you so much for showing up, each of you. And that ends our meditation, week 2. I look forward to seeing each of you for week 3. Blessings. Blessings.
Thank you. Thank
Please, and just one final thing, if you do want to reach out to me, please do so. I would love to support you, and my gift to you, if you are struggling or have anything that's coming up that you're challenged on, I'm here. Send me an email and I will be honored to support you. Blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings. Oh, thank you very much, Preet. Thank you. I just noticed that we had some comments as we went along. Thank you very much for that. And Kathy. Oh, Kathy put the reminder in her phone to breathe. Great to hear, Kathy, that worked for you.
Kirsten, how do we find your email?
It is on the slides when I send you the emails. Also, meetup.com has it, but I will tell you it's just info@kirsten.com. And I can show you my slides just since I have them here.
Okay, I can write it down too.
Perfect. So I'm just going all the way down to the bottom so I don't. So if you can see that, this is my gift to you, and it's a complimentary. I etch one day a week out, and I have a few time slots available, and it's first come first serve. So I filled up for this week. So if you do want, for the next 2 weeks, I've actually filled up. So if you would like, I can get back to you by email, or we can have a call in 2 weeks on Tuesday.
Yeah, just a quick question, so it's okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So thank you, Tom, for your energy and for sharing, and for all of you. Shushma, I haven't forgot about you. I want to get back to you as well. And it's great to see you, Anita.
Finally.
Yeah, it's great to see you and everyone else, and both Lindas. So namaste. I'm going to end the recording here, and it'll be available to you momentarily.
Thank you.